Welcome to the Mindspace Health and Wellness Podcast. I'm your host, Matthew Huerta, where here we try to make mental health a conversation, not a confession. For today's podcast, we're going to be talking a little bit about our sister brand called Mindspace Running, because we're going to be talking about our physical and mental health. Because for today's podcast guest, I have the founder of Yaku Hybrid Athletes. The name itself already tells you enough. These are hybrid athletes. They cycle, they run, they swim, and I myself continue to familiarize myself with like the marathons, the runs, the ultra Ironmans, in which he has done before. So today we're gonna be talking about why he started the brand, what helps him keep motivating other people to do the same, and how he's able to maintain to be a full-time athlete as he's currently partnered with the Feed, Quintaru Triathlon, and we have the Garmin as well. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce Mr. Mauro Fernández Wynter to the podcast. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
Of course. I'm actually very excited because I myself, like I mentioned, I'm still familiarizing myself with the world of running, athleticism, I guess you could say. And some of my own runners are also trying to train for Ironmans, marathons. And I think I have two that are currently your, I guess, leadership because they're currently going through your coaching plans. But just before we get to all the nitty gritty of all that stuff, I want to know what got you to the point of like, I want to start my own brand.
Okay, so it started kind of not even as a brand. I wanted to start a community. So with mental health, I was going through a very dark place in my life where I was very alone. I was currently living in Philadelphia, and I didn't have anybody where I felt like I was very connected to in the point of my life. And I was like, you know what? A community would be awesome to like kind of boost and encourage each other. And that's kind of where it started. The whole name and everything all about it just came about later. And yeah, the brand eventually happened probably 2 years ago whenever I saw a big group of people wanting to represent the brand in marathons, 5Ks, any sort of event. And I was like, okay, so we have something there. Let's work at it. And I've always loved designing, and I find it like a very peaceful and kind of like my time. And yeah, all my designs are by me. So if you ever find something that you like, you can always
Hit you up.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
for
I
sure.
guess.
Because even your content creation is really awesome. But I think when it comes to this brand itself, I could totally see how authentic it is, where this is something you wanted to create. And that's why I kind of want to get into. I know you mentioned before that it was kind of a battle when you first started this. Like, this didn't just come out of nowhere. This was you trying to go ahead and work on yourself that then you later evolved to this. So what was that point for you? Because I know you've previously mentioned, that you were at a low point in your life. You were in Philadelphia and you were now just trying to rediscover this new group of people. But what for sure was that point where you're like, yeah, I got to change? Because I think that's what everyone struggles with when they're starting the running journey, whatever that may be. So what was that for you?
So personally, to me, it was more of it was a big snowball effect, but it was one last thing that kind of just pushed it over the edge, and it was my mom getting diagnosed with stage 3 cancer. And to me, like, I never, ever, ever would have thought that would be my deck of cards. And sometimes you just have to realize what God dealt you. And I was tired of being this person that kind of gave up when things got really hard. And when my mom told me that she had cancer, it kind of put everything into perspective, and I realized I needed to change for myself. I was not happy with the person who I was. And there was this moment where I was praying for an opportunity. My friend of mine from Monterrey, Alex Alvarez, he also started a community, and he's an awesome guy. And he called me, he told me, he was like, hey, there's a half Ironman in Monterrey in 3 months' time. I personally had no clue what an Ironman was or even half Ironman. That moment threw me into a very big obsession since I didn't have anyone around me pushing me to better myself. I went to YouTube and all these places where I personally found amazing athletes sharing their journey and sharing everything. And they shared the mental struggles and everything they were going through. And that's where I kind of got that. And I said, well, what if I tell my story and I try to help people? And my mom, this is kind of where Yaku Hybrid Athletes comes about. My mom used to sing Yakusa, Yakusa. It's a very odd Mexican song, but she used to sing this with such big passion and enthusiasm that I wanted to grab that and put it into my own heart. And I was encouraged to read David Goggins at the time.
Yeah.
And there's this part of the book where he says you have to create an alter ego, a version of you that can do it anything, that can deal with loss, hardships, mental struggles, anything that is put on your plate. And I didn't have that version. I was Mauro was the guy who got shy and he wouldn't speak about certain things. And I went back to my mom singing Yakuza, Yakuza, and I was like, hey, Yaku sounds powerful, sounds like something that needs to be heard. And with her in mind, I just put it together. I was like, Yaku, that sounds really cool. Like, that's my name now. Like, the version of myself who can do anything, I wanted to be Yaku. And I didn't know how to swim, I didn't know how to bike, and I didn't know how to run at all. The most I've ever ran was a 5K 4 years prior. And everything seemed to be super hard to reach. Yet, through the book, it was telling you that all you have to do is worry about what you can do today.
Yes.
And that's what I got from that. And I said, okay, let me try to figure it out. I started listening to the book, and I went for a jog, came back, couldn't really go far. I went really down about myself, and I was like, how am I supposed to get through this if I want to sign up for the half Ironman's 1.2 mile swim, 56 mile bike ride, and then a 13.1 mile half marathon?
Yeah.
The full is double that.
Yeah.
So when I was hearing this, I was like, I couldn't even run to the corner.
Yeah.
Like, I'm gassed out. I'm almost about to puke. And in the book, he's saying he threw up and he came back and he told himself, like, I don't want this version. Like, I don't want this to limit me anymore. And he got on a stationary bike and he started biking. I said, you know what? I'm going to keep trying.
Yeah.
As long as I keep trying, I feel like I can get through my own personal struggles because I'm not giving up on myself. And that's kind of where the whole idea of Yaku Hybrid Athletes came about.
Yeah.
Giving a platform to anybody that is ever dealing with anything or wants to work towards something. They can reach out to me and my team, and we're going to help you as much as we can, or guide you to the people that will help you so you can achieve those goals or get through those struggles. Because anything, I have this phrase that I like to say, that you're being a little selfish if you don't like to put the best version of you to the world. And that to me is the biggest thing, because the world deserves that.
For sure.
So that's kind of what I want to leave with my little seed in the world, is Yaku Hybrid Athletes, to kind of better all these people,
Put
them together and give them a platform.
Yeah. And it's something that you keep saying is like yourself, like you kept pushing yourself. And I think that's what people struggle with the most, because you get caught in those moments like, oh, I just threw up, I don't want to continue. Or like, I can't even run half a mile, you know? And you kind of start, I guess, like this inner conflict with yourself, like, why am I even doing this? What was that for sure for you, that like, I got to keep moving? Because I know you mentioned the book, but I think for me too, like trying to start getting into running, I do start falling into those little mental battles with myself of like, why am I even doing this?
Yeah.
Like, I know you mentioned your why was for sure the why in Yaku, which we could get to in a bit. But I think just in those moments, what was for sure a motivator that you're like, okay, I got to keep moving?
So I personally, to me, it's my mom. Like, I always tell people, find the deepest, hardest why you have in your heart. That could be a family member, that can be yourself going through something very hard in your life, something that got like, that the world threw on top of you. All those reasons can be your why. And you have to, this is a point of perspective. There's always going to be someone going through worse things than you. Maybe they don't have the legs to even walk or keep moving forward.
Yeah.
Or they're going through some type of mental issue that they really can't even move forward. So what's my excuse to really not move forward?
Yeah.
Like, I'm here to, it might sound a little selfish or anything, but the light at the end of the tunnel is just someone in front of you walking forward. And you just have to follow him.
Yep.
Because we really don't know where we're going. We're just
Going with the flow, yeah.
Going with the flow, and we're just trying to have faith that we're working towards something and we're gonna get there.
Yeah.
And that's literally the happiness that comes from your life is all about the journey.
Mm-hmm.
There's this phrase that says, "The man who loves the view doesn't get as far as the man who loves the journey."
Mm-hmm.
Like they get such a better view whenever you love to walk.
Yeah.
You're gonna keep walking, you're gonna get on top of the mountain, and that's the best view.
Yeah.
But you're gonna give up whenever you see the first pretty view if
Yeah.
you're the person who likes the view.
It's for sure about appreciating and, like you mentioned, perspective, because it could be like one person maybe at the library and they're like having I don't know, a whole breakdown, but then again you're also like, it's a luxury to even be in public spaces like that too. So I 100% agree on the perspective part, and I think it's beautiful how you mentioned like you having a goal yourself, and I think it ties in perfectly because I think you were mentioning last that that's exactly why you also wanted Yaku, because you get to play with the why in the why of Yaku. So tell me a little bit more about that and how you've been able to continue, because I've seen your merch before and it literally says why itself, and I think itself is a statement. So tell me a little bit more about that.
So we were going through a whole rebranding process, and my brother actually was the head designer, and he had the whole idea. And it's actually a little person standing up with his fist up, kind of like the Rocky statue in Philadelphia. And it kind of all comes together because I have a picture with my mom standing next to the Rocky statue with her hands up, and it's a statement of, throw me your hardest challenge, I'm gonna come out on top.
Mm-hmm.
And to me, that comes from having that so big of assurance, comes from having a really deep why, or having my why be the main reason why I do this. And it's personally, my why is not even me. Like my why is for my mom to be super proud and be cheering me on every single day. And when people tell me like, oh, you just do this for the videos and the views, and I'm like, if that's what you think, go ahead. Like I know my why very deep down, and nothing shakes me to the point that why am I gonna stop if I have someone cheering for me so hard that I can't even hear anybody that's not cheering for me.
Yeah.
So it's finding that super deep self-assurance of my purpose is way beyond me in every aspect of your life. If you're trying to be a really good doctor, you're trying to save the most lives as possible. If you're trying to be a really good salesman, you're trying to make the most sales as possible. If you're trying to be in any aspect of your life, you want to be the best version of yourself because that's what the world deserves.
Yeah.
And personally, going back, that's what you deserve for your own life.
For sure.
You don't want to live a life and you be 80, 90, hopefully 100, and for you to be like, wow, I could have done so much more. Like, I have two friends in Monterrey that started a community that comes from Memento Mori. So remember, you're going to die. And that, I love their community, their whole branding and everything, because they really do live that way. Like, their whole community, if you buy a shirt from them, you can win a skydiving trip. Like, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's about giving back for them.
It's like giving back to the community. So I want to do the same thing. And thankfully, recently we had Puma give us shoes so we can give back to the community and make a commercial out of it.
Nice.
So it's like, finally, after 2.5 years later of so many people telling me, oh, it's not going to work. Oh, it's not going to work. Or people encouraging me that I didn't even know before. You get both sides of the coin. You have to just keep moving forward. And now, praise God, I have such a big community behind me that it's even more of a reason why I don't stop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think, like you were just mentioning right now, like you were kind of like the coin flip, like how you mentioned there's two sides of the coin, because you could listen to people's opinions and that could totally change your goals. And I think that's what I've caught myself doing, because unfortunately, I think where we're from in the Rio Grande Valley, we are kind of stuck in this like machismo culture. Anybody doing anything new, it's a little bit tough because we have a lot of hard-headed people here. So unfortunately, when it comes to the running communities, when it comes to, you know, just like physical health here in the Valley, that's honestly a struggle that I've been seeing. And I realized with Mind Space Running, people are interested because there's a lot of mental health struggle here that's actually being faced, and people don't realize that even doing a brisk walk or running, that could literally help. So with that being said, I would want to ask, how has that challenge been navigating Yaku to showing it to the RGV? Because I feel, I'm telling you right now, like, I know what it is. I started Mindspace running. I get a lot of opinions of like, why are you doing this? Or like, no one believes in you sort of deal. Because unfortunately, we have a lot of like people that try to be more realistic in the valley. But unfortunately, it's okay. Not unfortunately, but it's okay to be a little delusional. Be able to have your goals, because you never know where it'll take you. I mean, look at where you're at now. So how was it navigating, those negative opinions when you first started?
In the beginning, it was a little challenging because I used to get riled up by people telling me negative thoughts, and with time and my personal, I guess you can say, psychologist would be my brother. I always talk with him about everything. So if something is on my mind, I mention it to him, and I'm like, hey, like this person said this, and I really don't know like if they're right. And he tells me, he's like, you were doing really good before that comment. That comment was just to you.
Yeah.
It's not changing the universe unless you let it change. So keep having the same goal that you're having. To me was I came back here because I want to change this town from the most obese town in America to number 2, number 3. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
One number change is thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of lives changed. So to me, that's kind of my bigger purpose coming back here. When I first brought Yaku Hybrid Athletes here, everybody seemed very on the fence about it. Me coming from Philadelphia and seeing how the running community was progressing 3 years ago, I kind of saw the trend start going up before this was going to hit in the valley. Then me moving here made me realize you have to play around with everybody. Not in a sense of anything negative. It's just, if running's not for you, it might be high rocks, or it might be walking, or it might be sunsets at Bao. You get what I mean? Like, all these things might be better for you as long as it's a little fitness related. Wow. Like, we're heading towards the right goal. So I feel the Valley doesn't specifically have a culture that we can say, oh, we're known for this.
Yeah.
So I personally felt like that's a good opportunity for us to kind of turn into this hub of fitness.
Yeah.
And if we can change that, and we can make your mom, your grandma go on walks, and then all these people start signing up for 5Ks and racing for 10Ks and racing for fundraisers and all these things, you're going to see the whole culture just gather around, because the Valleys also, we route together.
Yeah.
You're seeing it with UTRGV games, how thousands of people are going.
Because it's something new.
Yeah, because it's something new, and it's something with a purpose. We're trying to bring a ring back to the Valley. So all these things matter if more people believes in it more than the people that don't believe in it.
Yeah.
But sadly, the first year, 2 years, you're going to see more people not believing it more than the people that do.
Yeah.
And that's fine, because you had this dream in your head, and you got to remember, things are going to happen. Also, God is throwing you hardships, so he knows you're doing the right thing, because you're super focused on, this is my why, this is my purpose, this is what I'm trying to bring with Mindspace Running, this is what I'm trying to bring with Yaku Hybrid Athletes. I don't care about all these side comments, because they're not bringing me anything positive. Blow by. Now we focus about what we have to focus about. And that's when you start seeing so many people just behind you, like, oh, now I'm following you even with a better purpose, and I see your dreams and aspirations, and you see it now with Lululemon coming to your runs and Red Bull coming to your runs. And before, you would hear way more about the negativity, and you would be like, oh, it might not be possible. Now you're seeing, once you have people behind you, everything changes.
For sure. And I think it just continues the whole thing of like staying consistent with your goal, But I also bring it up because, I mean, if you go to Austin and like you mentioned, Monterrey, Mementisa was their name, right? They're also, like, the communities are strong there because these running clubs get together. It's no competitiveness. And I think that's what I really like about Yaku as well, because you're also trying to just bring everyone together. And that's honestly the goal with Mindspace as well, because it's just trying to bring a new movement to it. Because like you mentioned, UTRGV Athletics currently has our UTRGV football team, and that is just something new. People are looking for things to do. And that's exactly why I'm excited to continue it, hopefully in the future, to partner up in more possible runs. Because you also randomly, I know right now you took a pause, but you do the Sunday long runs. Tell us a little bit more about those long runs, how they came to be, and how important it is for those that are currently training for possibly a marathon or even a 10K.
Yeah, so basically Sunday long runs, we figured out it was more of a 5K loop. And the more you run, you want to be earlier in the day.
Yeah.
Because you don't want the Texas heat to kind of
For sure.
really beam at you. So we do 5K loops, and every loop we add more people. So basically, we start, the last event that we did was 15K. So the main group was around 25 runners that start in the 15K loop. It all starts by one loop. Once we came back, we met up with the second group, which was the 10K, and it was awesome because there was like 40 people waiting.
Yeah.
So it gathers to be double the amount of people, and the sun's not even up yet.
Yeah.
And that's also something that puts it into perspective, because you're doing something hard before the sun comes up with a bunch of people around you working towards something. And usually in long runs by yourself in a marathon block or an Ironman training, you don't have that many people around you because it's a little lonely.
Yeah.
Not everyone's training for that specific race, but the whole team wanted to find a format where you are never alone. And that's where the 5K loops came about. And we usually do them at Mission Bike Trail since it's a perfect 5K loop. But at the end of the event, we have a 5K group that goes out, and it's usually people that are just going on a walk or going on an easy run. And you see how they get encouraged by all these other athletes that have been running for almost an hour, 2 hours before. And they just like, okay, maybe next time I'm going to come back and then do the 10K.
For sure.
And they get all this very good positive feedback also from our runners and our athletes, because if you're here, you're trying.
Yeah.
And doesn't matter how fast you're running, how slow you're running. Once you're in this community, you realize there's easy runs, there's recovery runs, there's tempo runs, there's all these names for specific types of workouts that put you in categories of, oh, he's running fast because of this, or he's running slow because of this.
Yeah.
And people really get scared about, oh, I'm running really slow. Don't worry. You're starting now. Like,
and plus, they're also comparing. Because
Yeah.
obviously, these people are running like freaking 20 miles.
Yeah.
So you can't compare on that end either.
Impossible.
I think for me, that's what I'm saying. Like, I would love to do Sunday long runs in the future. Hopefully, once my space running is back in the game. But I wanted to kind of jump into you being a full-time athlete, because I think that's also another thing. Like, obviously, you offer your coaching plans. Right now, we'll get to that, because I would love to, for anyone that's watching, maybe be interested in getting one of your coaching plans. But I ask, because the last conversation we had, you were literally saying how it doesn't hurt for you to just reach out to these companies. It doesn't hurt to just like ask, because what's the worst they're going to say? It's no. So how has it been for you navigating being able to be a full-time pretty much athlete? Because right now you're partnered with Garmin, you're partnered with Quintaru Triathlon, and you're also partnered by The Feed. So tell us a little bit more about how those partnerships happen and how you feel being able to say I'm a full-time athlete.
It's surreal, and the fact that you're mentioning that to me like puts it more into perspective, because sometimes I say, oh, I'm a content creator first, or but no, I'm really an athlete that records his journey
For sure.
and uses social media as a platform to kind of navigate all this. And I've realized a long time back from Daniel Cavazos, another founder of La Mementisa, he told me, he was like, hey, no already said, like, you not trying is what you're going to get from a no.
Yeah.
So why not trying to find the email, try to find the phone call, try to find the specific person to reach out to, and just tell them who you are and what you're trying to pitch, and see what their feedback is, and you're gonna learn from that, and then go from there.
Mm-hmm.
So with the feed, I was realizing that they had a whole bunch of athletes in the Ironman community that were winning all these Ironman races, and I was very shocked by it. And I was like, if I want to be the best in this specific sport, I kind of need to be sponsored by the best.
Yep.
So I reached out to them personally. I told them, hey, I want to do five Ironman events in a year.
Mm-hmm.
Would you be okay with like start supplying some things for me? And they were like, oh, yeah, we can put you in the basic team.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where I took it as in like, wow, people
It's
can say yes,
possible,
yeah.
yeah.
Like it's possible. They
Mhm.
didn't put me on the super elite team.
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool. Like I didn't get a no.
Mm-hmm.
And I got maybe 5-6 no's before that from other brands where I really didn't know how to pitch myself and
Yeah.
all these other things, and which is experience.
Mm-hmm.
But once the feed said yes, I saw it as a really big opportunity, and I started making really nice videos for them.
Mhm.
And after a year, they raised me to their elite team,
Mm-hmm.
just because I finished all 5 Ironman events,
Mm-hmm.
and I was creating really good content throughout it.
Yeah.
And they realized that's basically what they need in a campaign promoting social media and their products. And I realized to be a really good athlete, you just have to figure out what you need, then reach out to those companies, tell them what you're working towards. Hopefully they say yes.
Mhm.
If not, you work another angle and you try again. But the no you already have. So might as well just keep trying and keep trying and keep trying, because eventually once they say yes, you're going to see how your life just changes.
Yeah.
And it's like, wow, now Quintana Roo, if everything happens for a reason, gives me a bike in the future.
Mm-hmm.
Wow. You get what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
my first ever bicycle was a Quintana Roo. Now I get sent out a bike. Like, that's insane. That's
Mhm.
amazing. But it all comes from creating the right content, raising the right engagement to the
Yeah.
project. And with me, I realized I wanted to train for something harder than an Ironman, because I finished it and I wanted a little bit harder of a challenge or longer
Mm-hmm.
without having restrictions.
Yeah.
So I said an ultra Ironman is something very, very challenging. Not a lot of people in the world have done. And under 30 hours seem surreal.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't think I could say awake longer than 16, which
Yeah.
is damn.
And to me, like, that scares me.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it really keeps me up at night. And that's something that I put out to the world. And I asked Quintana Roo, I asked Garmin, I asked all these brands, which they're thankfully took me under their wing, and they're helping me so much with content and branding and all these things. But all I had to do was have this crazy dream, have the courage enough to speak it,
Mm-hmm.
and then have the actions to follow it up and
Yeah.
keep working towards it, because it doesn't just work if you say you're going to do something.
Yeah.
You have to follow it up with something insane.
Mm-hmm.
To me, I found my deep why, which is my mom. Her birthday was coming up in July 11th, and I wanted to start off the project with a statement.
Yeah.
So I told Quintana Roo, hey, if you're really down for this, I'm going to do 24 hours on a bike. I can't do it outside because I was looking to climb Everest, the
Yeah.
altitude,
Mm-hmm.
the same amount as Everest. We're in Texas. Everything's flat. So I was going to have to cycle up a really tiny hill
Yeah.
hundreds of thousands of times.
Yeah.
So I said no. I got in contact with Swift, which is basically a software to train on a bicycle at home.
Mm-hmm.
And it helps you create the resistance as if you're going uphill. And I told them, hey, this is a project. They said no. They said, like, no, yeah, we're not going to sponsor you. I said, okay, that's fine. Like, I'm just not going to show the software.
Yeah.
Okay. But Quintana Roo said yes. So now I'm doing this at home for 24 hours straight. The hardest challenge I have ever done. I almost fell asleep through hour 7. I
Yeah.
almost fell asleep again through hour like 16.
Mhm.
And then I was able to finish 24 hours. And I didn't get to finish the altitude of Everest. And even some people told me, like, oh, like, you failed. And I'm like, that's cool if you think that. Like,
Yeah.
I really just did it as training.
Yeah, and even then, 24 hours is
Exactly.
still crazy.
Yeah, it's like,
Yeah.
oh, you failed what?
Yeah.
Like,
And plus, you're already at the point, like I'm saying, that's crazy. I think that when you start getting to that level of people
Yeah.
calling you crazy, that's already an accomplishment on its
Yeah.
own. But no, yeah, I'm very glad you've been able to kind of do all that, because I'm telling you, I think when it comes to like you even offering coaching, it comes from your experience of you're like, okay, this is what worked for me. Maybe this will work for you.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about those coaching plans you offer.
Yeah. So whenever I first started an Ironman, the first half Ironman I did it with no plan whatsoever. Like no coach helped me at all because they were charging me so much for very, I learned later, very basic training. And I realized for really basic training, if you're ever training for a 5K or a 10K or half Ironman or any sort of race and you just want to finish it, I can just give you a training plan that I already have made and it doesn't cost me a cent.
Yeah.
And you are working now towards your goal without having any more restrictions of I don't know what to do. So me bringing that to people was very, I really had to bring it bring the awareness to people because I didn't want people to train for a specific race and not feel like they have a plan for it.
Yeah.
Now there's apps like Runna and all these other apps on the App Store that you can sign up for a subscription and they're gonna train. They're basically gonna give you the same thing I'm gonna give you for free.
Yeah.
And I'm still gonna give you tips and help you if you ever need anything.
Yeah.
And I found that to be very helpful. But also, if you really are trying to tailor down a specific time that you want to hit on something, or you're trying to lose weight while doing this, or gain muscle and more specifics, okay, then we can work towards something. It's not going to be as expensive as anybody else in the market.
Yep.
Just because I used to be very chunky and then I got really fit and then I got really chunky again and then I got really fit again. So I kind of understand how my body works and I'm getting more certified in all these nutrition and training and all these other things so I can teach you to basically learn what works for you so you don't have to hear from other people.
For sure.
Because that's where I'm learning. There's a lot of miscommunication. It's, oh, but they told me this was good.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's good for males.
Yeah.
And you're a girl.
Or for their body.
Yeah, or for their body specific. So all these things like really comes into consideration. Like for races, the specific nutrition you have to eat might not work for you how it works for me. So I'm gonna give you all these options, which the feed is awesome at doing that. Thankfully, they have thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of options from gels, nutrition, carbs, anything in the market, they have it. And I give you this resource, which you get percentages off, and you can order
like
packs,
packages.
Packages where they have all sorts of gels from 7 different brands, and you can try them, and you see what works for you.
Yeah.
So you're not just, oh, they told me this works, and then you try it and you throw up because it upset your stomach. Like that's perfectly understandable.
Yeah.
Plenty of people have gone through that. That's why there's so many other options. And that's why this should work for you.
For sure.
If it doesn't, try these or explain to me why it didn't work for you. And then we can pivot and figure out a different option.
Yeah. Well, if y'all are interested, go ahead and reach out through Instagram. They can go ahead and reach out to that. And before we actually end off things, I wanted to talk about November because I know the last time we spoke, you were talking about how you had all these events coming up in November. And I just wanted to know what you're currently signed up for and what I guess everyone should expect because this podcast is going to be out October. So November's coming soon. So what's coming up?
So November is going to be the hardest month of my life. It's going to be a full Ironman, Florida, November 1st. Then I follow up with 3 High Rocks events the weekend after. Solo, mixed doubles, and doubles. Then I follow that up with a race called Last Man Standing, which is a 6.7 kilometer loop every hour on the hour until the last person finishes. I want to be the last person. And the last race would be High Rocks Dallas, my pro debut with pro High Rocks weight. So all that 2 months before the hardest challenge of my life of an ultra Ironman should be the hardest month of my life.
Wow. And all of that is in November.
All that is 4 weekends in a row in November.
That is crazy. Well, y'all know where to see all this behind the scene content. It's going to be on the Yaku Hybrid Instagram. And we also have Life with Mauro, which is your personal. So is there anything else? What would be your parting words before we end off the podcast today? For the viewers, maybe any advice for anyone that may be going through mental struggles, or maybe someone that is looking to start finding their why so they could start getting into, I guess, being athletic, running, walking, whatever their goal is.
So what I want to leave to the world is don't be afraid to dream too big. You deserve to dream big. There was a reason why you had those dreams in the first place. Don't let anybody tear you down. And please make sure to dare to be great, because only great things come from daring to be great.
For sure. Well, thank you very much, Mr. Mauro, and thank you to everyone who made it to the very end of this podcast. And if you haven't yet, go ahead and follow Mr. Mauro on the Yaku Hybrid Athletes Instagram and Life with Mauro on Instagram as well. And shoot him a DM if you have or any interest for the online coaching that he does. And if you all want to stay updated with anything Mindspace Running is doing, go ahead and follow the Instagram at Mindspace Running. And thank you for making it to the end. Make sure to subscribe to the podcast so I can continue bringing more guests like these, because this is just to continue promoting the mental health, aspect of things, because that is the goal of Mindspace, making mental health a conversation, not a confession. So I appreciate everyone that made it to the end, and thank you, and I'll see you next month.